9:58, August 19th. So today I want to show you how to make paper mache clay. And I know my hair is a mess. I've been busy all day as always. So here we go. And let me turn down the radio. It's super loud. Just to give you an example of what paper mache looks like. This, believe it or not, is all paper mache. And I want you to listen to that. Listen to that. It's the first time I ever added paper mache. So I got halfway down and then I ran out. And I placed them on the bottom. This is still drying up. So I'm going to place that back where I'm drying it up. They make beautiful centerpieces and they make beautiful gifts. So I want you to know Christmas is around the corner, and this is what paper mache looks like. In here, see the paper? I didn't add any paper mache in this one. I'm thinking and contemplating, should I? Listen to that. You cannot add water. Do not add water to this because it is paper mache. It will start absorbing the water and then it will start collapsing in itself. So be aware of when you're working with paper mache, okay? Pardon me. So I'm going to place this one away. Now, if you want to use something for a vase, this is an alternative. This is just an instant coffee jar, okay? Of course, it's empty. I added Glycol to the outside of the jar, which is a primer. It's a different type of primer than any other primer. It's usually always used on canvases for art piece. Let me sit down for a minute. My legs can't turn. So this, I was explaining to you, is Glycol inside. You see how it's beige inside? You can make Glycol. It's very, very easy, or you can buy it, and it is a little pricey, so I'm going to let you know. Learn to make these things. You have all this stuff at home, and the minimal things that I buy, did not cost very much. But look, again, paper mache, and I upcycled this beautiful jar. Now I can use this jar to use it as a vase. I can add water in there and make a really beautiful flower arrangement. Again, they make beautiful gifts. And then I'm going to place some clay on the top and embellish that. So I'm going to put this one away. And I've given away 3 or 4 of them to the neighbors around here, and they are so excited. And remember, that's a piece of me that I give away to people that I love and who have been really good to me. With my niece, she's going to travel again. Boy, you kids, I'm telling you, I never even traveled. As far as I travel is from here to the store, and that's about as far as I go. Okay, so I'm going to put this away. But these kids nowadays are going to Italy, you name it, France. I've got one family member that's in Alaska. They're on a cruise. And then I have another family member that's in Hawaii. So everybody's going somewhere. So that's awesome. Okay, well, enough said. So what I'm going to do before I start this, I'm going to roll up my sleeves. Make sure you take off any jewelry that you might have. You don't want that to go inside your clay, and you're wondering where in the world did it disappear to. So I'm going to put on my artiste apron. I made this, by the way. It's simple, easy peasy. Because I do not want this stuff on me. I'm just going to sit for a moment because I don't want to get all this stuff on me. So, how is paper mache made? Very, very, very simple. You know we all get junk mail, okay? We get junk mail, we get newspaper clippings, ads, you know, our invoices, you know, the ones that you really don't need. Like, it's just, unless you're doing it for tax purposes. For me, I don't have to worry about that, and I'm not gonna do all this, itemizing for a few things that I buy once in a while. So I'm not at that stage that I need to itemize anything anymore. You know what I'm saying? Those days are over with. But what I do is with my invoices, like say for instance, I go to the charity shop and I buy I happen to get some art supplies. And I don't want to save up all these. Instead of throwing it in trash, I save them up and utilize them for my paper mache. And paper mache is just that, paper. Like I said, newspaper ads, clippings. You know how you get those coupon books and they got this 2-for-1 deal? I take all those and I shred them up. And then once I shred them up, I place them in this. Let me see how much. I don't think it tells you how much weight this is. Oh, this is a 17-pound container. I don't know how much that means in gallons. You do the math. Save me all the time. So what I do is I have a paper shredder. God bless my sister for giving me a paper shredder for that, to paper shred all these things. My nephew. I love my family. So I take all the paper, I get my paper shredder, and I shred it, and I shred it. And you know paper, when it's shredded, I have a huge box. It becomes this big, giant box of this shredded paper. So I start adding the paper in here. Then I get boiling hot water, and I start pouring it in the paper. I get some more paper and fill it up, and hot water, and hot water, and hot water. And then I use a stick to smash it down. And before you know it, this is what you end up with. You see the paper pulp. This is just water and paper pulp. That's what it becomes, paper pulp. Then I add a cup of vinegar, a cup of lime juice, and some salt. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a tiny bit. Because this preserves it and it keeps it from becoming moldy. So every time I use this paper pulp, I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it. I get a rag, nothing important, just a rag, and I'm going to take some of this paper pulp. You see how it shreds? And you move it around every day. You just don't leave it in this container. You got to keep moving it around. The more you move it around, the more it shreds up itself. I have to stand up to do this because this leg keeps hitting me. Okay. So, place it in that rag. You need a lot today. I have to make some. And then I smash this back down. Okay, so I've got my pulp. This is what pulp looks like. It's just paper, all that paper. And it's going to be this color. And the reason why is because it has ink in it. You know, all the different contrasting color inks from the different color newspaper, etc. And this, see how big it is? And now I'm going to drain it. And you are going to get a lot of water out of this. And I'm going to show you how much water comes out. Now I want to spring it out as much, but I also want to leave a little bit of moisture in there. Now I'm going to take that and place it in there. You need a big collar, you need a big bowl or something. And then I'm going to loosen that up. Just to loosen it up. And look how much water came out. A lot. Now I'm going to bring this back. Try to open this up again. I'm going to pour that right back in there. Because that has the lime juice and the vinegar and the salt. And I need that. So it's a preservative. It's going to keep it from getting moldy. That is the main purpose of that. So let me get some more paper. Oh. That should be more than enough today. Plus, I'm going to use a lot of it today and then I want a little bit for the next couple of days. Clean that up. I've been making so many things that I'm almost out of paper, which is good. It goes to show you how busy I am. This was filled up to here. It was filled up to here, and all that's left is that much. So that's a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna move this off the way. Nothing's in my way. Oh, chairs. Now I'm going to bring this out again. And then I'm going to let you know what you're going to need for the ingredients. Start off with something really small if you've never done this before. Just tear some paper up by hand and follow that. Add some hot water, let it start, just falling apart, and it becomes pulp. Now, I don't have any exact measurement on how I do this. I just have been doing this for a while, and I only started doing clay and paper mache and different air dry clays and different clays. I just started last year, so I haven't been doing this for many, many years. It's just something I wanted to do, something totally different than what I've been doing for years. You all know I've been making quilts for years, and it got kind of mundane and boring, I'm going to be honest with you. So I started doing other things. I accidentally cut a credit card in there, so now I have to remove an old expired credit card that I no longer use. Just keeping to the basics now. One of those throwaway, you know how you get a gift card. It's not even a credit card, it was a gift card. And I placed it in the shredder, not thinking that I was going to be using this for paper mache. That's what that was. Okay, so I have to make sure I don't have any of that. It won't adhere to the art project that I want to finish. There it is. Look at that. And it is moist. It's a teeny bit moist. It's not very, very moist, but it's enough moisture in there. So let me throw this away. I'm going to wipe my hands, and then I'm going to add this water back into the container because, again, it has that preservative in there. Put that in the way. Now I'm going to get the ingredients that you need to make this paper mache clay. It's not officially clay because clay is what they use in potteries, what you use in your coffee cups and your plate. But for hobbyists like me and people that are making this type of clay, we call it clay. But the official term is just paper mache. I believe it's called paste. But don't get me, I'm not too sure. So I need to get the ingredients. I'm going to get everything that I use to add in here. Give me a moment. We're going to need some lotion. We're going to need, not that much. We're going to need acrylic paint. And we're going to need our cornstarch. And I bought a brand new one. Okay, that's basically it. That is basically it. You really don't need very much. That's what's so wonderful about when you make your own paper mache. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to add, I get this open, is ouch. This one doesn't need the acrylic glue. This is a different clay. Sorry, but it's okay. It's in there. No big deal. No big deal. That's for air dry clay. I already made that video. Okay. We're going to need glue. And you want to buy the Elmer's glue. You can buy any at cheap brand. And I'm just going to pour it like that. The more glue you use, the more bondable your clay is going to be. So I'm going to use the cornstarch. If you don't have cornstarch and you're worrying about that, let me turn on the fan. I just realized the fan is on. If you do not have cornstarch, just get some talcum powder. If you don't have talcum powder, get baby powder. This is dusting powder, which is the same thing, but it's just called dusting powder. That's, I think, what the original term was. So now I'm going to add, remember, there's no measurements here. I don't know, I just go by how it feels. Okay? Then the next thing I like to use is some lotion. The more lotion you use, the more pliable this is going to be. But the key ingredient is the glue. Keep that in mind. And here's where you're going to get your hands dirty. You have to get your hands dirty. There is no way around it. So this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to start mixing this up like if I was making bread dough. And I want you to know one thing that's really important. When you're doing things like this, your hands get really soft. Very, very soft. And keep that in mind. You want nice looking hands? Start making some clay. Or bread, one or the other. See, clay I don't have to worry about eating and gaining any weight. I'm gaining experience. And it's all about moving that clay around. And I've done this for, let's see, since last year. I think I started in October or August. I can't remember exactly. And now I got a feel for what it should feel like. Again, you see no measurements. It's all about how it feels. If you want it to feel really, really thick, then you add less cornstarch. But I want it to be nice. And if you want it less, you want it thick, you would rinse out as much water as possible. I want it to have a little bit of moisture. So you see how it is. Yes, on a little bit of that. Pardon me. It takes a lot out of my breath. Plus I get excited when I'm making something. Makes me feel good that I'm saving the environment. And that's, pardon me, it's the cornstarch. It went right up. So it's already feeling good because I know how much to add. But again, the key ingredient is the glue. And because it is paper mache paste, it will dry really fast. You see how dry it gets. So you want to keep this in a plastic container once you have kneaded this dough. You want to keep it in an airtight container. Otherwise, it'll start drying up really fast. And then all this that you've done was a waste of time. And it will last at least 5 months in an airtight container if you're not going to use it right away. You don't have to put this in the refrigerator. And then if you don't like the smell of the lime and the vinegar, I have a diffuser and I buy the oils, the scented oils, like the lavenders and the different scents. I add a little bit of drops of that, and that gives it a whole different smell. So it's not bad all the time. So now that I'm at this stage, I'm going to add some more glue. My hands are not full of anything. It's already time to buy some more glue. I want a lot of that. Like I said, that is the key ingredient and what creates this bond. Add some more cornstarch. I used a lot of the lotion, that seemed to be enough. I'll probably just meet my niece again, Miss Etron. I think she's gonna go on vacation. Oh, I love my family. Those are all my nephews and nieces. I practically took care of all of them while their moms and dads were, and then when I wasn't working. I love that. Those are the moments I treasure for the rest of my life. Our house was full of grandkids, nephews and nieces, just running all over the place. My mom loved that. She was very family oriented. Everybody was over our house, even the neighbors' kids. They loved coming over because we were always cooking or something. And my grandmother always cooked. She lived with us for a while, and then she moved away. Oh, it's my niece, Adrienne. She commented on my photograph. They love me. I love them. That's my brothers. My brother who passed away. Those are his girls. They live far, far away. They live super far away. I would love to go visit them someday. It's on my to-do list. Okay, let me roll up my sleeves. Down. I already feel it. You see how it's starting to kind of form its own ball? That's when you know it's almost ready. The more you knead this, the more pliable it's going to be. What I do before I use it, I'm going to wrap it in some Santa wrap, or Glad wrap. Not Santa wrap, Glad wrap, or cleaning wrap is what that's called. And there's part of that gift card. I mean, you know, I could probably leave it there, but I'm not going to like the way it feels when I spread this. And another key is kneading this. So if you want all that glue, all that cornstarch to really adhere to the paper mache clay. And you see, that wasn't really hard to make. You know, it really isn't. So all it is newspaper clippings. And I want to show you how beautiful this is going to look. And I know when it's ready. Now if I try to spread this soft and it starts falling apart like this, it still needs something. And I'll show you what it needs. Doesn't need moisture. You're not going to place any more moisture. You want a lotion that doesn't have any water base. Okay, just remember that. You don't want to add any water. And I get the lotion that has no water in it. And because it's been in that container for, I think it's going on 2.5 weeks, maybe 3. I'm not too sure if it's 3, probably 3. I'm pretty sure this paper has really fallen apart. Okay, there it is. Look at that. See, I can smooth it. It's not coming apart now. It's nice and smooth. I could smooth it with my hand. And that's what you want. You don't want it to start, when you do that and it starts coming apart, because that's what's going to happen when you start making your clay design. You can actually use this for sculpting clay. That's another thing this paper mache could be used. If you're a sculptor and you can't afford the regular sculpting clay, and you don't have a kiln, which I don't have a kiln. Because pottery, the pottery that you use for your dishes, cups, that you need a kiln. It has to be fired up in a kiln and glazed, and that's what makes pottery. This is not that. This is for more decorative stuff, but you can use this for sculpting clay. It feels good to me. I can tell. It's not clinging to the bowl. Get all that out. Now I'm going to move my bowl. I'm going to clean up my table. Jewelry over there. Okay. This is the test. I can tell if I need some more baking powder. I mean, cornstarch, not baking powder. It looks like it needs a little bit more cornstarch. That's the real test right here. And you can place it on the table. This is a plastic grid table, mat. This right here. You can get those anywhere, Joann's Fabric, wherever they sell fabric. They're very pricey, so make sure if you're going to buy one and you want to get a good one, get the big, large one. And I could tell this needs cornstarch, so let me add some more cornstarch. Again, there's no specific measurements. It's all about feeling it. Let's have a lot of moisture in it. This one sleeve is the only one that's falling, not the other one. It is different. I'm going to add some more cornstarch. Probably going to need the rest of it. It's not very much in there. This is going to absorb all that moisture it has. It does feel good. It feels really good. And to think it's all homemade. Homemade clay that you can use, like, you know how they make piñatas? They make piñatas a certain way, and then they add the sculpture to the piñata, or they make the sculpture, and you can make a sculpture face, a mask, and just think about all the wonderful things you can make out of this. Mardi Gras mask. Lots of things. It is just the sky's the limit. I'm going to use the rest of that cornstarch. There isn't very much in there anyway. These are all things you can find in your home. Some people use flour for their paper mache. I do not like the way the flour feels. It just feels, you know what flour feels like when it crumbles up, starts crumbling? I don't like that feeling. Cornstarch or baby talcum powder or baby powder works beautifully for this. You're going to have a really soft clay or sculpting clay. But then it's not official clay, because, but for the, us hobbyists, we call it clay. And it's good. It's feeling really good. I can pick it up and place it like this, and it's not coming apart. spread it. Feels good. Now I'm going to get some, it's holding its shape. Look at that. Looks good. Okay, now I'm going to get some clean free. Make sure you go off your hand. It's beautiful. And get some clean free. Oh, clean wrap, that's what it's called. I don't know why I said clean free. Little pieces. Nice little package. And that is airtight, my dear friends. That is airtight. And now I'm going to get my container. Of course, you can use any kind of container. You can go spend money on an expensive container if you like, but I'm just using my butter container. Works good. As long as that cling free is nice and wrapped up, it's ready. Here it is. Homemade clay. And that's how you make homemade clay. I have my number. Cornstarch there. You can get cornstarch at the 99-cent store. Don't go out and buy all kinds of expensive cornstarch. They sell it at the 99-cent store or the dollar store. You know, sometimes you can get a coupon and save yourself even more money. And that depends on how much you're going to want to do this. If you're like me, you're going to be really deep into it. I can see what that's here. I know it's somebody. Oh, house GOP drops and peaches. I don't know what you mean by that. Now, I want to show you what clay looks like if you were to buy it at the store. So hold on, let me sit down again. And that was this was very expensive. I think it was $20-something. And it's just this little tiny package. But this is what they call clay. This clay, you don't place it in the kiln. This is just air dry clay. This little package costs almost $30. So to think, I made this with dollar cornstarch, newspaper clippings. This was $8, and I did a lot of projects with that. So this, I got this in June, and we're June the 1st. I wrote down the day when I purchased this, June the 1st, June, July the 1st, August the 1st, and we're almost in September. So this lasted 3.5 weeks, something like that. But this is clay. This is called molding clay. This is actual clay, but it's used for molding clay. I could, if I wanted to, I can shape this into a little bowl, you know, a little bowl or something. And then just leave it air dry. See? I already made a bowl. But I'm not using it for that. I use this for something totally different. These are what I use for my embellishments on my projects that I use. And then you have to buy a mold, full embellishment mold. and you press it in there and you pull it out and you make some beautiful designs. So it really depends on how far you want to go with this. You pick what you want and what you can afford. Let me turn it the other way. And that's what I do. I get what I need when I'm doing a specific project. But if it's something like this, I just have to go to the grocery store and look for flour, cornstarch, talcum powder, glue. All these things are there, vinegar, all that stuff's there, salt, all that there is for you. And basically, a lot of these projects are made from that. I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to take off my apron now. I'm telling you, I am totally exhausted. Pardon the way my hair looks. I am a complete mess, but it's okay. That's what doing stuff like this does. You're going to get a little messy. Don't worry about it. Everything can be washable. What I have is really washable. And that's what I do. I immediately wash everything. Whew. And it's getting really, really hot. So, what's wrong one? That's why it didn't look good. I was like, didn't look good. That's not the way I look. I don't have dark circles under my eyes, thank God. But I hope this helped you in your journey of arts and crafts. Feel free to like and share, because I am going to post this on YouTube. But again, I'm a newbie to this. I just started in, I believe, August or September. I'm not too sure, but it was just last year. I'm very new to this. But if I can do it, you can do it. That's what's so fun about this. That, you know, we're all sharing our ideas, and we're helping each other to grow. You know, that now I have a purpose. I know what I love, and this is something I am truly so thankful that I learned, because I've been looking for a new medium. Like you all know, I've done a lot of quilts. I must have sewn 150 quilts. I've done a lot of embroidery. I have a knitting machine, so you've seen me knit on my 4 different knitting machines. Then I have a 24 punch card knitting machine. You've seen me use my beading loom, because I do beading as well. But here is a new medium. I have been non-stop doing this, and I didn't do that with my other projects. My other projects, I create a quilt, I start, and then I still have, I think, 20 quilts that I have not finished. They're just in a box waiting for me to get to them. And my knitting machines, I'm not using them because I don't use them that often. I make things during the winter time. And I do have a floor loom. I think a lot of you know what a floor loom is. It's where you literally are beating your woven fabric together, and you're creating fabric. That I love doing a lot, because I can create my own dish towels, and you can make curtains and things of that nature. So I hope this helps you in your journey. You're going to find your purpose. You just have to look for it. You have to. We make mistakes. Sometimes you say, I bought this and it didn't work out. Well, donate it and find something else to do. That's what I do. I just finished donating 4 expensive sewing machines, and I'm so glad that people where I live pick them up and they're going to use them. Beautiful. They're expensive. They weren't like they weren't $100. They were like $400 or $500. But it's good to give something away that you know somebody's going to appreciate it, going to use, and find some outlet that they can find. And it didn't bother me, because I have more room in my shelf unit to put. I still have like 4 or 5 more sewing machines, but those I'm going to keep, because these are more high-end sewing machines. And then I'm still going to keep my floor loom. I am going to give away 2 of my knitting machines. I'm just going to leave them in the community room with everything, and hopefully somebody picks it up and finds some interest in that. And I would love for you to join me on my next video on making clay. And I have another video I'm going to upload, and that's the air dried clay. It's called porcelain air dried clay. So I'm going to upload that one too. So be patient with me. That's all we can be is be patient. God bless you all. I love you all. Have a wonderful day.